Hello, Top Fan supporters. It's your boy Bill. It's your boy Jackson. We got a weekly review for you. It's been a little bit. Sorry, we're off kilter. Normally, you get these on Friday. Today, you're getting it on Tuesday. It's a holiday week. It's all kinds of things, all kinds of, well, whatever. We don't need to explain ourselves. It's all kinds of things. Anyways, Jackson, how are you doing this morning, my good friend?
I'm doing pretty good. The weather's a little wacky up here in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I just drove home from Idaho yesterday, and it was night when we left. So it's beginning to look a lot like something. I don't know,
Yeah.
Christmas something. When you're driving through Utah, Jackson, we drove out there Thursday. We drove back yesterday. And on Thursday, when we drove up Cedar City, all that stretch all the way up to Provo, no snow. Driving back, snow everywhere. Like,
Frozen wasteland.
awesome. Awesome. Jackson, are you ready to go through a little MLB today?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Start us up. What's number one?
I know we're late to the party, but let's talk the awards. AL Cy Young. It was all Tariq Skubal, deservingly so. He won first place. He had the pitching triple crown in the American League. Uh, Seth Lugo had a really nice season for Kansas City, but I think it was Skubal's award to lose. I'm sorry, Cleveland fans. Emmanuel Clase only had the second greatest relief season in MLB history, and the first one didn't win Cy Young, so his chances were pretty low. And then, oh, what
Good.
was that?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
And then the National League, Chris Sale, another pitching triple crown, edges out Zach Wheeler. Uh, and to the person who voted Paul Skeens over Zach Wheeler in second place, shame on you. That's all I'm going to say. Shame on you.
Jackson, Aaron.
Yeah, not, like they didn't just put Wheeler third; they put him like fifth. They put him behind. I think it was Dylan Cease and Hunter Green, which was the
Hunter
real
Green's
head.
going to be good, just not less
Yeah,
last season.
yeah, not last season. Hunter Green was good last year, but you remember, kids, WAR is a supplementary stat, and that's your top fan stats guy fact of the day. Don't just look at WAR, look at everything, and then you can use WAR.
There you go. There you go. Well, I, this time of year, it's interesting because I hate rumors. I hate trade rumors. I hate, oh, this person might sign here. This person might sign. I hate all of that and a bag of chips. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hate it all, Jackson. I'm like the Grinch. My heart is two sizes too small when it comes to this thing. I just no, 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 no. And so, but I gotta talk about it. So for those of you people out there that think that Juan Soto is going to play in a Dodgers jersey because he met with the Dodgers and because Mookie Betts is going to play second base. You are sorely mistaken. Please understand that the Dodgers have like 19 people in the farm system, including Andy Paez, that should have a regular everyday position. Do not forget you still have Tommy Edmond up there. Do not forget you're trying to re-sign Teoscar Hernandez. It is not a thing. It is not a thing that Mookie is moving into the infield, and that's why. And they're meeting with Juan Soto. If you are a Dodger fan, if you're a Dodger purist, I hate to make a very unpopular opinion online, but I'm going to do it. If you're a Dodger purist, you do not want Juan Soto. Remember, you're paying Mookie, you're paying Freddie. Although you're not paying Shohei very much, you're paying Mookie, you're paying Freddie. When that Shohei contract ends, you would still have Juan Soto's contract that you're paying for. It's not a wise move, a business decision. You're going to lock up all of your cash. You won't be able to get Oscar back. You won't be able to chase after good pitching. And you will have a series of years that will be at best mediocre. So, Dodger fans, stop it. Jackson, what do you think?
Uh, I agree with that. I look, I'm not. Don't call this an attack on Juan Soto's character, but I think he wants to go where he's kind of the big talking point. He wants to be the superstar. You know, deservingly so. He's a really good hitter, a really good player, and that's why I think he's gonna maybe try to get out of the Yankees. I think if he goes to the Mets, the only other guy he's got to compete with is Francisco Lindor. You know, and and Lindor's the kind of guy who would give him the spotlight. So I think there are several other teams who are going to push a little harder. Again, you're right. The Dodgers don't need, another guy making, monopoly money on their roster. What the Dodgers need to do is retain their depth because that's how they won last year.
Right.
So uh, I hate rumors too. I hate the Juan Soto's meeting. There's a mystery team involved. That's not real reporting. Don't listen to any of that. I too can go on, Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever they're using nowadays and be like, I heard my sources tell me that Juan Soto's meeting with the Miami Marlins, and it would
Yeah,
stir something up. So
yeah. So the one other thing I'm going to say on this point before I turn it over to you for number two is I would whistle a different tune if all the Dodgers had was Mookie or all they had was Freddie. I'd whistle a different because that second bat would be amazing. But if we get Teoscar Hernandez back, which it looks like that's a very strong possibility, if we get Teoscar Hernandez back, then you have the 1 through 5, which are amazing, maybe even 1 through 6. So you've got Shohei, Mookie, Freddie, Teoscar, Will Smith, and Max Muncy. Why do we need to put Juan Soto in there? I just now again, it's an embarrassment of riches. It would be a different tune. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I wouldn't want Juan Soto under different circumstances, but these circumstances, nah, I'm good.
yeah.
What do you got for number two?
Number two, MVP voting. Bobby Witt became the first unanimous second place winner of the MVP. Congratulations, Bobby. I'm sorry that you couldn't beat the media. Uh, Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani was the expected outcome for the MVP races. But I think, players to really watch for next year are Bobby Witt Jr. and I'm going to say Ketel Marte, who was injured for pretty much the last month of the season and almost hit 40 home runs as a second baseman. Really, really impressive. So, Ellie De La Cruz is another guy you want to watch for next year. And then Jordan Alvarez, somehow only played, he missed like almost 20 games and still put up video game numbers. So I
Yeah,
think MVP, we have an embarrassment of superstars in the MLB right now. we had a year, where guys like Ronald Acuna missed most of the year. Mookie Betts missed a good chunk of the year. There's still a ton of really nice names and nice stat lines at the top of the MVP list. So everyone relax. It's award voting. There can only be one MVP.
everybody's top kung fu fight,
Yeah,
right? The I will tell you, I will tell you that there's a number of names like you said that are. I wasn't surprised with the Shohei Judge thing. I personally would have voted for Bobby Witt.
same.
Um, uh, Ramirez had a great season. Jose Ramirez had a great season, and nobody's talking.
Uh,
He missed
uh,
40 by one home run.
yeah, that's
Um,
the story of Jose Ramirez's career, though. Top five in MVP like clockwork.
yeah. But you look at him, like you said, Ellie De La Cruz. There's a number of people. You can even throw Teoscar Hernandez in this conversation.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
Gunnar Henderson. I think Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had probably the best bounce back season that nobody's talking about.
yeah,
He had a 940 OPS
yeah,
after having a really bad year the year before.
yeah.
So
And you've heard it here first. This is Vladimir Guerrero's last season in Toronto. You're hearing it here first. Where do I think Junior is going to go? I think he's coming to Anaheim. I think he's going to follow in his dad's footsteps, leaving Canada for Anaheim. I know that. I haven't talked to Vladimir. He's called me a couple times. I've sent him to voicemail a few times. I need to get it translated. Jackson, you asked Pablo Espanol, so maybe I'll
yeah,
send the voicemail to you, see if you
he,
can help
he
me
he
out.
just he just wants to come play on your softball team. I
Yeah,
think
there you go.
I think he'd use the extra bat in the middle of the lineup.
Awesome. Awesome. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so I've got for number two, I've got a kind of an interesting number two. Okay. You mentioned this person earlier, Francisco Lindor. Francisco Lindor can be an MVP, even with Shohei in the same league. But what Francisco Lindor needs to do, and I think that he's done it, is he shed the image that he first had when he first got to New York, right? He's now a
Yeah,
fan favorite, which I love about that. But most importantly, what I love about this guy is he's a team leader, and that's exactly what the Mets are going to compete for a division title this next season. If they can lock down their pitching, they're going to compete for a World Series championship next. But the door swings open and close on Francisco Lindor's leadership, his fielding ability, and his bat. Convince me I'm wrong.
yeah. I mean, what cost him the MVP was starting horrendously,
Yeah.
and
And being injured a little bit.
yeah, playing beat up and trying to play through an early injury. Oh, it hurts the stats, and people whine and complain, but these people are human. If you can't swing a bat, and you're a second tardy at the major league level, you do get punished because they are throwing 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
So baseball's a really hard sport, but I agree with everything except for the Mets being a World Series contender. I think their veteran pitching really helped them this year. I don't think they're going to get all those guys back.
it depends. One of the things that the Mets have in their favor is something that Joe Torre wrote about the Yankees, and it's true. Joe Torre said in a book called The Yankee Years that he wrote, I don't know, 16 years ago or something like that. He said that they won a lot of games on the road because people were afraid of the name on the front of the jersey. And being the Yankees, right? I think you run into the same issue with the Mets. I really do think that the Mets are that team where people get nervous and they look and they, oh crap, the Mets are coming to town. Yeah. So, yep. So that being said, I think the Mets have a shot, but we'll see.
We'll see.
I,
Yeah,
you know,
the off season's a lot of unknowns, especially with a
yeah,
team like the Mets who have a lot of veteran players they need to either retain or shuffle around. But we'll have
yeah,
a better idea come January.
yes, yes.
That's by the end of January, most guys will have signed and it'll be all settled. I think even after this week, after Thanksgiving, is when a lot of guys are gonna, get their calls in, you know, and get paid.
Everybody that's watching this on YouTube, I apologize. We've been out of town for 5 days, and one of my cats will not leave me alone. She is so ticked off that we left that she has not left my side since we got home. So, anyways, what you got for number three, Jackson?
Number three is a little bit of fun. The first Hall of Fame ballot is in by writer Jimmy Golan. Um, I won't tell you how you voted. You can go look that up. But this ballot is really interesting this year, and I'm going to play a rapid fire game with you, Bill. I'm going to read you a couple of names. You tell me yay or nay Hall of Fame.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, Bobby Abreu,
Not yet.
Carlos Beltran,
Yes.
Mark Burley,
Yeah. 2000%. Yes.
Felix Hernandez,
Not yet.
uh, Andrew Jones.
You and I talked about this in pregame. I so this is going to be a very popular or unpopular opinion. Thomas, I still love you, brother. If you listen to this, my apologies. Here we go. Andrew Jones had a very good 10 years in his early career. His last 7 years were plagued with injuries and a very low batting average. He has a career batting average of 254. Yes, he has over 430 home runs. He's got less than 2,000 hits. So if we're going to look at it just from a home run perspective, 1,000%. But if that's what we're going to start looking at, engaging as our barometer, then we got problems because we're just inviting the steroids back in. So no, Andrew Jones, no.
Yeah. All right, and then of course Ichiro Suzuki.
He better get 102% of the vote.
I agree with that. CC Sabathia,
Yes,
and then probably the other most controversial one, Billy Wagner.
yes.
All right.
So Billy Wagner, so to me, Jackson, Billy Wagner created, I shouldn't say created, but he revolutionized the role of the saves, right? He was a left-handed pitcher that threw 200 miles an hour before anybody else threw 200 miles an hour. When that bullpen gate opened and you knew Billy Wagner was coming out, you knew that you had to swing early and swing often, or now he wasn't perfect, but his numbers solidify that he belongs in the hall.
Absolutely. As a pure baseball standpoint, you want to talk about the most dominant closers of recent memory. It's been Billy Wagner and Mariano Rivera,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then Craig Kimbrell for like 7 years, and then he turned into a normal reliever.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So I love Hall of Fame balloting just because it's it now, Jackson. When I say not yet, it doesn't mean that they're not Hall of Famers. It just means first year, second year. It depends on who else is on the ballot because you don't want a class of like 12 people going in. Um, on a ballot. Now, Veterans Committee, other things, announcers, things like that, you might end up having 12 in one class, but there's too many good players that when you're looking at that you're going up against. For example, not this season, not this year, but next year's uh, Hall of Fame balloting has the last year Manny Ramirez. Manny Ramirez will not get in the Hall of Fame. Manny talks too much. He's been busted for PEDs twice. And so if you let Manny in, now, if he'd been busted for PEDs twice and he were a choir boy, he might get in. But Manny talks too much. There's a Run DMC song about that called "He Talked Too Much." I mean, he just,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. There's a number of players like Alex Rodriguez. There's a number of players like you said, Bobby Abreu. Bobby Abreu should get in. He's not going to get in first ballot, second ballot. If he gets in, it'll be a very low voting class, meaning there won't be a lot of super excitement on the ballot, and it'll probably be a six ballot, seven ballot, eight ballot, someplace in there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Bobby Abreu is definitely one of the underrated players of the 2000s. For anyone who disagrees, Bobby Abreu was a doubles machine. He
Hmm.
hit 574 doubles, had a career 870 OPS. Yeah, you didn't remember Bobby Abreu was that good, guys. So
No, Bobby Abreu deserves to be in. It's just when you're going up against Ichiro, when you're going up against Billy Wagner, when you're going up against an insert, player name here. Next year, you're going up against Buster Posey. Now, in my opinion, I'm going to make a very controversial statement here. Buster Posey is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. If he's a
I
first,
would agree with that.
yeah, if he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, then put Thurman Munson in on the same ballot. I mean, their numbers are relatively identical.
Yeah.
So, but you ask good questions, and so I like that. That's good. That's a good argument right there. It's a good argument right there. Um, okay, on my last one, Jackson, that I'm going to mention, I'm going to go back down here to Orange County. I'm talking about the Angels for a second. The Angels have one superstar and one really good star that can't stay on the field between Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon. Um, and so in Anthony's case, you need to play more than 115 games a season. You're a third baseman. Mike Trout, you need to be on the field a lot more than you are. What I've been saying all along, supporting cast for that, and it doesn't need to be big price, big talent. The Angels lost a significant amount of fan base, Japanese fan base, when Shohei Ohtani left. The Angels then go and sign Kikuchi, 3 years, $63 million contract. I think this is a great, great signing. Absolutely fantastic signing. Um, and then because it boosters that rotation and it also brings back that fan base. Business and fandom, I think, met perfectly there. You bring in Kevin Newman, you bring in Travis d'Arnaud, you bring in um, Jorge Soler, and there was one other one that they brought in that I'm forgetting. But you're basically bringing in a cast that may not be household names, but can play the game and can get you an extra 15 to 20 wins. 15 to 20 wins puts them knocking on the door of maybe not the division, but puts them knocking on the door. If they can get another 20 wins, that would give them, I think, 80, 80. What do they have this year? 63.
Yeah.
Um,
They just
so,
dodged the hundreds
yeah,
losses.
so
So
I put them at 83. I put them around a wild card spot. So if they can pick up another 30 wins out of it, then there you go. I mean,
they
you're
they might need a bit more than that. They need prime Mike Trout for that.
well. It's the question is going to be how long is Trout on the field. The question is going to be how long is Anthony on the field. The question is going to be also is Logan O'Hoppe going to be the all-star catcher that everybody knows that he can be. The question is going to be can Zach Neto play and do well. There's a lot of moving parts in this and a lot of variables in this. So yeah, do I think that there's an opportunity there for the Angels to be really, really good? I do. Do I think that there's an opportunity for the Angels to also win 65 games? Sure, but
Yeah.
they're making the moves I think that could get them in a very weak division because I think Seattle's going to do what Seattle does, right? Start off hot, get a little colder, get real cold, and then be done.
Collapse.
Um, Houston has done nothing but got older, right? They lost Kikuchi. We don't know if Bregman's coming back yet. So Houston's gotten older. Um,
Texas,
Tex,
Texas is if they're healthy, they're great. If they're not, they're not.
yeah. If they're healthy, they're great. If they're not healthy, they're out to lunch. And then you've got the Angels and the A's.
I think
And
the A's can be a really interesting team next year. We'll have to see if some of their young guys take a step forward. They definitely need some more pitching, but the
well, it's
American,
hard.
like you said, the American League's not that strong, wild card wise. So
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I did not say that. I said that the American League West. Don't you Houston, I'm sorry, Cleveland could be a wild card team if they don't win their division. Detroit could be a wild card team if they don't win their division.
I don't buy into Detroit's bullpen usage.
Kansas City can be, I disagree. Kansas City could be there. Baltimore could be there. The Yankees could be there. I mean, there's 6 or 7 teams that could be wild card teams, Jackson. I don't say that the American League's weak. I said that the American League
Uh,
West was weaker. I just want to get that
but
record.
with three wild card teams, I certainly think anyone who can improve themselves even just a little bit certainly is in the wild card race.
Mhm.
It varies from year to year. My note on Detroit is they relied a lot on the bullpen last year, and the bullpen can be very volatile. So if you rely a lot on the bullpen in consecutive years, the pendulum can swing the other way.
The key for the Angels is they have to have a difference of opinion mentally.
Yeah,
It's not, hey, this group is a core group where we can build it
yeah,
up. No, they've missed the playoffs for 10 seasons. You have to win now.
yeah.
It's this season is your winning season, right? You have to win now. You can't say, oh gee, we only missed the playoffs by 3 games. No, you have to win now. Now, now, now.
No, I'd agree with that. I think with the expanded playoff format, now's the time that you got to try every year.
Yep.
You get in, you
Yeah,
can go on a run.
100%. Jackson, any honorable mentions for us today?
No, not today.
That's it. I have no honorable mentions except to announce a few things. So, as you're listening to this video, please understand A, this is in the locker room. B, this is also on YouTube. Check us out. Make sure that you subscribe to YouTube. We have a couple of corporate sponsors that will be being announced tomorrow or next episode. Next episode next week is the best hitters of the last 25 years. We're going to have some special guests on next Wednesday. We'll be filming it next Wednesday. It'll drop next Thursday. Be excited about that. Be really excited about that. And be prepared for a lot of fun announcements coming up uh, that with Top Fan Rivalry. First of all, if you listen to the morning show, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, that will not be occurring during the month of December, but will be coming back in the month of January. And a lot more fun announcements that are coming up this year. So go pay attention, go take a look, go get excited. We got FanFest coming up. Jackson has already bought 14 tickets for FanFest. He's trying to single-handedly shut it down and just with his friends. So Jackson, any other comments? If people are going to go get an awesome hoodie or a sweatshirt, we have new Top Fan Rivalry sweatshirts. Jackson, I haven't even showed them to you yet. I got to show them to you in a second. But if you want to buy those, what code do you use, Jackson?
Use code Jackson at
Uh-oh.
checkout. Ten
That's
percent
that's
off.
simple.
That simple.
Beautiful. Love it. Love it. All right, my friend. Let's do it again next week, right?
All right. Yeah, sounds good.
All right.